Welcome to the Campfire Stories, where every flicker of flame reveals a secret and every shadow hides a truth. Each story we share is a descent into the unexpected, unsettling, mysterious, and impossible to forget. Tonight's tale, the Unposted episode.
I have always liked libraries. The quietude, the steady order of catalogued knowledge, the scent of brittle pages. These things soothe me. It is in such a place, a small studio nestled between two old bookstores, that I find myself seated across from a young man with wide eyes and a voice just beginning to learn how to listen.
Welcome to What Lies Beneath. I'm your host, Julian. Today's guest. Well, I'm still trying to believe I got him.
He laughs nervously. I smile.
I was told you're an academic. Retired?
In a way, I reply. Though I wouldn't say I ever really retire. My work simply shifts form. He chuckles, not quite sure if I'm being poetic or evasive.
Let's start from the top. You've spent your life studying endings?
More precisely, the nature of finality, the sociology of goodbyes, the psychology of letting go.
That's beautifully said. Listeners often ask, why do we fear death so much when it's the one universal certainty?
Because, I answer, we are wired to value continuity. Fear of death isn't just fear of pain, it's fear of cessation, of irrelevance, of being forgotten. We shape our identities around what lasts, and I represent the interruption of that. Julian nods thoughtfully, his brows knitting together.
But some cultures celebrate death?
Yes, I say, leaning forward. The Dia de los Muertos, for example, reminds the living that the dead are not gone so long as they're remembered. In Tibetan Buddhism, death is seen as a transition. In ancient Egypt, it was a passage. But even in those societies, grief exists. Philosophy and ritual soften the blow, but they do not erase the mystery.
So, is the mystery essential?
Absolutely. If death were fully knowable, it would lose its edge. And then, perhaps, life would lose its urgency.
You once wrote that death is not the opposite of life, but its mirror. What did you mean by that?
I meant that death doesn't oppose life. It completes it. Life is motion, growth, creation. Death is pause, stillness, and absorption. In death, meaning is distilled. A life is only understood backward once it has ended. His eyes widen, as though a realization just brushed against him like wind.
Do you believe in an afterlife?
I allow a pause. Silence is part of my language. I exist in the space between questions, I say, between a last breath and the first moment after. What comes next isn't mine to define. My role ends with the exhale. He stares at me, uncertain.
I suppose I'm used to guests being more concrete.
I am what I am, I offer with a faint smile. Concrete in outcome, perhaps not in appearance. Julian checks the time. We've only been speaking for 20 minutes. He seems to think it's been longer.
You mentioned sociology earlier. How does society shape our understanding of death?
Society conditions us to see death as failure, medical failure, heroic failure, systemic failure. Yet death is not a bug in the system. It is the system's completion. How a culture treats its dead reflects how it understands its living. Where death is hidden, so too are grief and vulnerability. Where it is ritualized, mourning becomes a shared language.
You sound like a philosopher.
I've been called worse. Julian laughs. He's relaxing now, the initial strangeness fading. But I sense it. He's starting to feel something else. A slow unease, a haunting familiarity. He looks up from his notes.
You've said your role a few times. May I ask what exactly your role is?
I am the one who comes when the others leave. The closing of the curtain, the turning of the page, the breath after the last word. There is a silence now. He's no longer writing.
Are you a metaphor, or are you...
I am not metaphor, I reply gently, though many have made me one.
You don't seem cruel.
I am not cruel, I say. I am inevitable. I come for kings and children, for tyrants and poets. I do not discriminate. I do not rush. I do not delay. I simply arrive. He swallows.
I don't remember sending you an invitation. Who told you about the podcast?
You did, though not with words. You've been calling me for some time now. In your questions, in the dreams, in your silence.
Dreams?
You remember the staircase, don't you?
The one you never reach the bottom of?
That's just a recurring...
Fear wears many costumes, I say. Sometimes it enters quietly, sometimes it knocks. Julian leans back, the room suddenly colder. He looks at his hands. One of them is trembling.
I had chest pains last week. They told me it was stress.
They weren't wrong. There is a long pause. Then he looks directly at me, and for the first time, not as an interviewer. His voice is almost inaudible.
Are you... death?
Yes, I say. I am. He does not scream. He does not run. He simply leans back in his chair, closes his eyes, and exhales. I do not rush him. I never do. The final question has been asked. The truth has been spoken. The episode will not air, of course. But that's all right. Some conversations are meant only for the moment, and some answers are only for those who are ready to ask.
Thank you for joining us around the fire. Some stories fade with the embers. Others linger, waiting to return when you least expect them. Until next time, keep your eyes open and the fire burning. This has been the Campfire Stories.